Welcome to today's STEM activity. My name's Jenny and I'm a Youth Services Librarian with Surrey Libraries. Today we're going to be doing an experiment to look at salinity and how it makes things float or not float. Salinity is the amount of salt that water has in it. You're only going to need a few basic items for today, all things that you can find in your house. So the first thing you're going to need is 2 clear glasses, preferably the same size. You're going to need 2 eggs. We're not going to do any damage to the eggs, so you can use them for cooking later. You're going to need salt, just regular table salt. You're going to need a measuring spoon. If you don't have a measuring spoon, you can use an ordinary spoon. That's fine as well. And finally, you are going to need some water. Okay? So once you've gathered those, we will get started and we will do our activity. All right, we are ready now for our floating egg experiment into salinity. So we're going to start with our 2 glasses. We're going to fill our 2 glasses about halfway full for each glass. It doesn't have to be exact. You're just going to make it approximately halfway full. We're going to take 1 glass and we're going to set it aside for the moment. We're going to take the other one and we are going to add 10 teaspoonfuls of water. Now 10 is just the number that I'm using right now. I encourage you to experiment and try different amounts and see what happens when we do this experiment with different amounts. So I'm not going to make you watch me do all of this. I'm going to use one that I already have prepared. Now, as you can see, this one takes up a lot more space now because we've added that much salt. And while the salt has dissolved or become part of the water in a way, it still takes up space. And what we now have is water, and then we have a salt and water solution. So when we put 2 things together and mix them together into a liquid, we end up with a solution. Our next step is to take our eggs. What do you think is going to happen to each of these eggs? When I drop an egg into this glass, what do you think is going to happen? Let's find out, shall we? Now we're going to be gentle with this because I do not want to break the egg. So we're going to put it way down, and it's sunk, right? So if something sinks, it goes down to the bottom. Now what do you think is going to happen with this egg? Shall we see? If I put this egg in here, it floats, so it stays on the top of the water. The only thing different between these 2 is the amount of salt. This one has no salt. This one has 10 teaspoons of salt. Try it with different amounts of salt and see what happens. Now, this means that if you were to go to a lake or a beach, do you think it would be easier to float in the salt water or the fresh water? Yeah, the salt water. And you can even try and make this stay down. If you push the egg all the way down to the bottom, do you think I'm going to make it stay down there? Nope, it pops back up to the top. So there's a super simple science experiment that you can do that shows the effects of salt in water on making things float. Experiment with different amounts of salt in your water. Have fun.